Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Draw. Today we're going to be drawing Charmander. So grab a pencil, grab a sheet of paper, and let's begin. As a friendly reminder, I'm going to jot down the basic shapes because that's what we use to construct our figures, as well as L and L, light and loose. We need to stay light and loose when constructing our drawings. Let's begin by drawing an oval, and you'll notice I'm using my shoulder to draw this so I do not bend my knuckles and my shape is more smooth. You're going to draw a line down the middle for a 3/4 view. We're going to put the horizontal line now to divide the head into fours. This is what artists call a 3/4 view. Now we're going to draw Charmander's upper lip, angling down right to the center of that vertical line, and we'll angle it right back up. So it's almost like we've got a little V. For the bottom lip, let's just round it out and we'll connect one point to the other, so we can see that Charmander is smiling. Normally you would start with the eyes first, but in this case we needed the mouth for reference. We know where to put the nostrils, and we're going to begin with a slight curve for Charmander's left eye. We're going to round that up, drawing a flat curve for the bottom part of his eye. Alright, we're going to draw an oval for the highlight and repeat that shape for his pupil and just darken it in. We're going to shade the outside and shave the top part, and voila, we've drawn Charmander's left eye. You can lightly shade in the bottom as well. I'm going to refine this now just a little bit and add his little eyebrow. Now let's repeat this for the left eye. Draw a slight curve. Be sure that it lines up with that horizontal line. We want the eyes to be equal on both sides. Notice it's much narrower because it's facing away from us. We'll draw a little oval for the highlight, a thinner oval for the pupil, and making sure that the pupils line up. Darken it up so it's the same tone as the other side. And let's start working on the top part of Charmander's head. We're going to just darken that curve and bring it down. It's a little bit more narrower. It's not going to be as rounded out. We will now add in a slight curve for the cheek. Remember, we're taking those basic shapes and we're making them more complicated, and angle it down so it follows the angle of the smile. On the other side, let's start angling it in to give him a little bit of a neck as it tapers down into his body. I'm just going to darken these top lines so that the shape stands clear from the guidelines that we've drawn already. Now that we've darkened those lines just a smidge, let's add in a rounded triangle for his right tooth and a rounded triangle for his left tooth. We're going to add 2 little teeth to the bottom lip as well, just slightly curved. I'm going to darken these lines in so that you can see them better on your screen. I'm going to add in a slight curve now for the tongue and shade in the mouth. This makes the shape stand out a little bit stronger. And look at that. We can already see Charmander really coming together. Going to darken these in. If you need to, erase some of the guidelines so your drawing stands out even clearer. Now, let's measure the head. Make sure that the body is the same size as the head. Adding in another oval at a slight angle for Charmander's body. Let's add some guidelines now for the arms and a slight curve for the leg. Notice that they're about the same size as the arms, just a little bit bigger. And a slight curve for the tail. We're going to put a circle here so we have a guideline for our flames. Now let's take that oval and make it a little bit more complex by drawing a line straight down and slightly curving it at the bottom. For the left side of his body, we're going to taper it up right to his neck so it's thinner up at the top and wider at the bottom. Now let's take that guideline and turn it into a shape, just thickening it out. We're going to do the same thing now to the top and just turn that line into a shape. Round out the edge and draw a rounded triangle for his thumb, and then 3 rounded triangles for his cute little fingers. All right, now that we have that, let's go to the other side and we're going to do the same thing. We want to make sure the distance is the same on both sides. Measure that out with your pencil and draw his arm, rounding it out. Now let's add a rounded triangle for his thumb, and this thumb is going to be a little bit bigger than his fingers. We'll add the forefinger, his middle finger, and as well as his little pinky. Let's erase some of our guidelines now. This is part of the magic of drawing. When you erase your framework and people see the final drawing, they have no idea how you constructed it just using basic shapes. Always remember that. Now in art, there's something that is called a confident line and a not so confident line. A confident line is dark, straight, has a lot of energy, unlike these follow-up lines, which are really weak. Even sketching lines are pretty weak. It's great for constructing. We want to stay light and loose, but when you get to the refinement stage, it should be dark and permanent. That's what I'm doing right now to Charmander's belly. All right, we're going to draw an oval now for his belly. Just slightly curve it around. Refine that leg that we had started earlier. Just curve it down past his knee, rounding it up. Notice that the oval is repeated everywhere, in his head, in his belly, everywhere. We're going to use an oval now actually for his foot. Now let's add 3 rounded triangles to that foot. You can draw them as lines first. I'm just going to draw a rounded triangle for his big toe, his middle toe, and then his pinky toe. We're going to add a slight curve. I'm going to start in the middle to differentiate his nails from his feet. Let's draw another oval, a little bit bigger than we did for his left leg because it's closer to us. So things closer to us are always bigger, always. We're going to darken the back edge here. Oftentimes it's helpful to draw the ground so we know where our character is standing. I'm just going to add in a light shadow so I know where to draw his foot, which I want to be a little bit closer to us. Now let's draw a really flat triangle pointing out so his toes are facing us. Let's draw 3 lines for his toes and turn those into triangles, adding curves for the nails so they stand out and are distinguished from his feet. I'm going to darken my lines now so it's a little bit clearer on your screens and erase some of my framework. Now I want that tail to come out and connect to his belly, so I'm drawing that line, and you can draw it lightly through his leg if that helps. So his tail continues to the other side uninterrupted. Draw a smooth line up, following our guideline, and we're turning that line now into a shape. You'll notice that all of the points on Charmander come to a slight curve. This conveys that he's not really that dangerous and a lot more friendly. This is a crucial element when designing your characters. Pointed shapes mean dangerous. I'm going to slightly change the angle of his tail now so it's a little bit more vertical and those flames on his tail come up a little bit higher. Drawing a circle now for where we're going to draw the flames. And we're going to just make some squiggly lines up. There are a variety of different ways to draw flames. What I'm doing here is really drawing flattened S's and connecting them together with curves going in different directions depending on which side of the flame I am drawing. Now let's refine all of the lines, getting rid of our guidelines and darkening up the shapes so that everything stands out and is stronger. We want our drawing to be confident. Now for the most important part, signing the work that you have just created. There's my signature, and congratulations, you've drawn Charmander. Now remember to practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you get. For today's video, I thought you might like to see my final piece. Here it is in mixed media. If you would like to know how to do this, please leave a comment below. It's time to announce last week's winner who left comments on our first video, and the winner is Dax Yeet. Congratulations, Dax. Please send me your contact info and I will send out the cards to you immediately. Congratulations. All right, let's see what we're going to open up this week. And up for grabs is this QR code. Feel free to scan it or enter in the letters and numbers to receive your free pack of Pokemon cards. Better shot in case you had a hard time pausing the video. On next week's video, we will be drawing Squirtle. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram at PopDrawWithWes. I will be sure to follow you back and leave helpful comments to help you become a better artist. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment to be entered into the drawing for next week's Pokemon cards. And remember, every day that you draw is a better day. I'll see you next week.